We are now, yes, very good. I can turn that transcript off. And yeah, as said, I'll just drive this screen where basically I'm just having a little play with this this process in terms of reflecting our life cycle, our project life cycle, in terms of from initiation through to planning, through to execution and monitoring, and of course closure. But for some reason, that little graphic is not giving me, no, it's not going to let me go in there. So I might insert a text here. So what I thought we would do is just to start off this evening is, as I said, a bit of a status report. I always like to take stock of where we're at and, yeah, just to think about where we're at and where we're going, and particularly where we've been with managing project risk throughout the project life cycle. So I thought what we might start to do is think about, particularly from initiation, what does initiation mean to you? Firstly, it's probably good to do a bit of a status report on our life cycle, isn't it? When you think of initiating a project, what comes to mind? I'm keen to hear from you.
A kickoff meeting?
Yeah, fantastic kickoff. Our kickoff of project, often, yes, the platform that often is used is a kickoff meeting. Very good. That startup, that very much, yeah, we may have a project type of meeting, obviously depending on how, of course, the planning goes. Once we get into that next stage, isn't it? What the plans look like, we may have a project on our hands. So very much, yeah, at the, what you call that start, go sideways. I'll leave it there. Very much that startup meeting, and yeah, very much thinking about our project. And as I've said to you, I think last week we started to talk about, you know, that high level planning, very high level, thinking about the project. Obviously for risk, managing project risk, we're thinking about risk at initiation. So what might be some of the questions we might have about risk during initiation, this, as you said, startup stage? What are your thoughts?
Budget.
I missed that, sorry, in terms of risk.
No, it's a budgetary constraints.
Yes, very good, very good. Very good. We are limited, aren't we? We only have limited resources, obviously, limited in terms of, limited in terms of when we talk about our constraints, absolutely limited in time, limited in financial resources, and obviously a limit to our scope. There's only so much work that we can do, and we need to obviously be conscious of that at this startup stage. How does that reflect then on, you know, if we're talking about managing risk, we're initiating the management of risk. What is perhaps the relevant, Jacob's point there around the triple constraints, you know, limited time, limited cost, financial resource, limited scope, you know, only what's included we can work on. We have limits, constraints. What is the significance of that when we're thinking about managing project risk in this initiation, you know, the early stage of our project?
If that is not managed properly, it may affect the project quality or the project delivery.
Very good. So we need to start from, as we said, high level, but some sort of risk identification almost at this very high level. Yeah, because if we don't do that, exactly, Jacob, if we perhaps don't spend some time, you know, some resource there, isn't it, on identifying risks in the early stage of our project, that may negatively impact our project later, absolutely. Yep. Or if we don't consider risks that we could take opportunities from, we may miss those opportunities in our project. Yeah, great point. Thanks, Jacob.
No problem.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Lisa, you basically make a framework for the project that you're undertaking.
Yeah, very good. So we have a framework, and equally a framework for our project, but as importantly, a framework for do a little bit of work here. Get this on the screen. Sorry, guys. A framework for also managing risk. You know, how we will actually manage risk throughout our project. And that framework we start to develop in this, as I say, in this initiation stage. We haven't even got into that planning stage. We're actually putting together, you know, our whole risk management plan, but we are starting to think about our framework. Very good.
Lisa, it's Hasib. Can I ask a question?
Of course, go ahead.
We have spoken about the limitation of our resources. For example, we have limited financials, we have limited resources and things like that. But how and at which stage will we discuss the limitation of quality of our resources? For example, say if we are developing a CRM project, what if we are not able to find the best quality of an IT analyst? Or what if we are unable to find the best quality of a software coder or a software developer? That's the quality of limitations as well that will affect us, no?
Yes, and in many ways, Hasib, that's risk.
Exactly.
The quality or lack thereof, quality, consider quality.
I'm so sorry, I can't turn on the camera, otherwise
No, it's fine, mate. It's fine. As I said, I kind of roll along with the camera until my sound, people start telling me, we can't hear you. It's like, okay, time for camera to go and we can just chill out and work. So no, it's fine. So it's fine.
Yeah, I'm on the road right now, so that's why I was like, better not turn on the camera.
Yeah, absolutely. And please be careful driving. Please be careful.
Oh, 100%. It's better than listening to songs.
Okay, you just be careful. Safety first. Hey, safety first. I'm
100%.
very proud. I have. No, you're right, mate. I'm very proud. I had one learner. It was not in this course. She was doing her HR, human resource management, and she did the whole course because I don't know if I'd said to you guys before. She travelled from the city CBD and lived in the Blue Mountains. So yeah.
Wow.
Please listen. But at the same time, Hasib, safety first. Not expecting you to always engage because I'm just happy you're listening. Yeah.
100%.
Good on you, mate. Safe travels, safe travels. Okay, guys, so fantastic ideas at the initiation. You know, it's all very much we may have a project. We don't even know, obviously we have to have that initiation progress. We have authority. That's our governance, isn't it? Our sponsor approves to then progress to the planning stage. So then we start thinking about planning. And I'm really keen to hear from you here because when we think about risk planning, what are your thoughts there? What's starting to happen perhaps? We've gone from the initiation, which is, up here, and now we're starting to plan. We're actually starting to get into more detail in terms of planning risk. What's happening there?
Yep. Sorry, Lisa. Do we
do
scope? What's in scope and what's out of scope?
Yes, very good. So we obviously are trying to get clarity. Absolutely. Excuse me. We are clarifying scope in terms of exactly the inclusions and clearly the exclusions of scope. What's in scope? That is the work that will be done. That's scope. What will actually the tasks, the work packages that will be done as part of our project, what we will actually complete, the work to be completed. And equally, as you're saying, fantastic, what is out, and we want that clarification. What happens in terms of risk planning then? What is the relationship between clarifying scope and planning risk? I'm keen to hear your thoughts there.
What was the question again, Lisa?
So when we talk about it is important in the planning stage that we clarify scope, what's in, what's out, very clear. We have that clarity. What is the relationship between that? I'm curious to hear from you what your relationship is to that clarifying scope and risk planning.
Is it along the lines of de-scoping a risk or?
Yeah, very good, Don. How do you mean when you're saying, you know, that de-scoping for risk? What do you you might have an example or?
So if it doesn't impact the overall project, but a risk
Mhm.
has been identified, it's something that you could just put aside to say, well, it doesn't
Good.
have an impact on the risk, but it's
Very
a risk
good.
overall for maybe another project or for someone to
Very
look
good.
into.
Very good, very good. Because this is the stage where we start doing, you know, obviously we hopefully have risks identified. So I should put that first because that's built on the very high level in initiation. And then what you're talking about, hopefully then we start to do a little bit of risk assessment to start to understand our risk, you know, our, what is it? Likelihood versus severity. And we start to look at the relationship between that. And that's, you know, that's our good old, our risk matrix, isn't it? You know, our risk matrix around trying to understand whether our risk is, you know, low or moderate, high. And even some organisations, and I think one of the matrix we looked at had, did it have severe as a rating? Oh, am I remembering correctly?
Critical.
Critical. Oh, Tan, you're awesome. Thank you so much. Let me get rid of this text box here. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I won't do that. Okay, we'll leave that there. All critical. Fantastic, Tan. I'll take that. Brilliant. And exactly as you're saying, Donnie, through that process, through looking at our matrix, looking at this relationship between, you know, likelihood or probability multiplied by severity or consequence, we start to then understand, okay, what is it that is at, you know, a low level of risk? What might be a moderate level? And of course, at the higher or critical level. And exactly as you're saying, Donnie, then some decisions we need to make around that. You know, can we then, we talk about treatments, don't we? You know, avoiding, what were our options? Our treatments such as avoid, which is what you're talking about, you know, leave it to the side, such as avoid.
Transfer.
Yes, brilliant, brilliant. What happens when we, sorry?
Sorry, it's Hasib again.
Yeah.
At this point, wouldn't we also look at the cost to benefit ratio as well?
Very good, very good. So let's pop that in here. Let's look at some of our cost benefit analysis. Brilliant, brilliant. Fantastic, guys. Fantastic. Oh, so good. It's lovely. I'm impressed. And so we're now executing work. Our execution, we're actually project work we've planned, hopefully, of course, we'll be positive here, won't we? Our sponsor signed off on our risk management plan and our project is now progressing. We're now doing project work. Project work is now happening. We now have we now have project work commenced. And we are in execution mode. And of course, as we execute work, of course, at the same time, we should be monitoring. You know, that's part of that. Hasib, your point around, you know, the quality management, isn't it? Checking, basically. Checking. Quality control, I suppose, is probably more appropriate at that point. So when we talk about risk now, work's being done. Work is now commenced. We now have tasks, project work now being, you know, progressed and completed as planned, as in the planning stage. Back here where we were planning, we're now doing. I'm keen to hear from you as work is being done. What are we doing about risk?
We still have to keep reviewing and monitoring and update. Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Thanks, Tom. Continue to review and update risks. Absolutely. Because risks change. Yeah. Change, that great word in our project, you know, change. They will change. Really, really important. We will have risks that what do you, yeah, when you hear that, you know, change in relation to risk. Obviously we have change right through our project. Gosh, you don't often I've never been involved in a project that didn't have change, you know. We might have been planning something at the beginning of 2022 and we're now still working for delivery in 2023. Much of that may change. You know, we did not know back in 2022 at the beginning, say January 2022, we didn't know what we now know in August 2023. So we have change. So what can happen when we talk about risks and change? I'm keen to hear from you there.
Your risk percentage or your risk margin could either increase or decrease.
Very
For
good.
example, you are making a similar kind of project, right? You're implementing, I'm going to go back to CRM. You're implementing a new CRM into your company, but probably in 2021, you were doing it for market competition because your market competition was so high. However, right now you're implementing exactly the same thing, but that is essentially just an upgrade. So at that time, the severity was high. Right now, it's medium, that even if you delay it, it's not much of a high risk.
Fantastic, Hasib. Fantastic. Eyes on the road, Hasib. He's like, I'll never tell you I'm traveling again. Oh, you're fantastic. Great explanation. I've just put some words in there. You know, our low, our moderate, our high, our severe, that will shift, that will move, that will change. And we constantly, exactly as you've said, Hasib, we constantly need to be thinking about where is this level of risk now? And Tan, your point, exactly. We need to be continuing to review and update these risks right throughout our execute, you know, throughout the work being done, because they will change. They will change. We will have old, like initial risks that are no longer relevant. You know, they're not even on there. They're not even gone to low. They've actually, we finished the work. Perhaps we had risks for our first work package. We've now finished that. And so the risks for that first work package are no longer relevant. You know, we can actually retire risks. They can go. They are no longer confronting our project. Alternately, new risks can emerge. Yeah. And the risks we had, Hasib, your point, the risks we had initially, the risks we had perhaps identified in initiation, and we had planned in detail and assessed and analysed and prioritised in planning, we now get to execution and that starts moving. It's all dynamic. So we need to be on top of that. We need to be constantly, you know, our project, particularly our project review meetings, weekly, fortnightly, sometimes daily initially, you know, stand-up meetings when we start a project. There's a lot of meetings happening with the team. Oh, bless you. These project review meetings are super important, pleasure, because they are constantly where during these project review meetings, we need to be doing exactly what you've said there, Hasib and Tan. We need to be then in those meetings talking about risk, reviewing the risk, updating the risks. So critical. I won't do that because I lose them. Yes.
As far as the meetings are concerned, Lisa, yes, we can do them on need basis. But at the same time, when you're making your basic framework or you're making your work breakdown structure, the meetings should be initially scheduled from start to finish.
To end,
those meetings don't happen, but other than that, we can have a need to happen meetings as well.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Yeah. And I think too, sometimes, you know, and that often, not always, Hasib, but often there can be that almost correlation with as a risk might be heightening, you know, and we need to suddenly get the team together because we really need to get on top of this. we bring them together, and that can be something that's, you know, we may not be able, we may not have the luxury of waiting for our, you know, when's our weekly meeting next Tuesday, and we say, no, you know, we need to now bring this forward, you know, we can't wait. And so we bring that forward. We might have that on Monday or whatever the case may be, because we need to start to review and, you know, just take some time out and check that those controls, those treatments that we had documented in the planning stage are still current, you know, that important piece around risk currency.
Absolutely.
Fantastic, guys. And then, of course, closure. We close our project. We close. I don't know why that won't let me. Come on. Give me one here. See if it'll let me. Oh, yeah, maybe. Let's get rid of this. No, maybe not. Love it works. Hug and kiss the technology when it works. Closure. Oh. Close. Project close. The end of our project. The end of the road. We're closing. We're handing over. Finalising work. Closing off the work. Checking the work has all been done. Completed. What's happening with risk there? What are your thoughts on risk at the closure of our project?
You're analyzing your cost to benefit ratio as to whether or not it was even worth time, cost, and energy in a certain risk that we learned through the previous lesson learned. That's the one that comes straight to your mind.
Yeah, very good. Very good. It's almost going back here, isn't it? That whole piece around what did we have in our risk plan? What was in our risk plan? And did we in fact, you know, did we know about those risks? Were we aware of those risks? What happened in terms of change? That's a big one as well. I'll make that one as well to highlight. What changed throughout the project, and how well did we manage that change in terms of risks? What were the risks that emerged that we didn't know about initially in our planning stage? How did we respond to those? And the risks that we had identified in the risk planning, if they in fact changed, how did we respond to that change as well? So there's sort of that piece around revisiting our risk planning, exactly what you're saying, Hasib, going back to that, you know, what did we initially plan? What was the cost benefit in terms of the analysis we did there? Did that in fact hold up? And of course, as it did change, you know, as it will change because projects are dynamic, the risk will also be dynamic. How do we manage that change? How do we manage the change when it came to risk, you know, new risk coming on board, retiring old risk, and changes in the level of risk to existing risks? How did we cope with that? You know, how well did we perhaps learn some lessons for future projects? And that's really what close is all about. Yes. Yes. Hopefully that's a good summary. Anybody else want to add thoughts, observations?
Hi, Lisa. Good evening. This is Moise.
Hi, Moise. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you.
Fantastic. Yes, please go ahead.
I would say you would reflect upon all your risk factors once again, and also the risk register would be updated. So for the future projects, as one of my friends has said, and also you must have, I mean, like the project manager must have parked or saved some of the funds or resources for those to attend those risks. So those can be taken into positive side of the project, where you can say that these are the savings, or this could be for the future project in terms of monetary or resources,
the lessons,
or even time constraints. Even it could be time constraints. So on a consolidation basis, you would see how that fade and what could be the factors. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, very good, Moise. I think some really good points in there, particularly when you say, yes, we hadn't documented, did we? We talk about the risk register, you know, where are these risks, I should say, documented? And we will have a register, exactly. And throughout, we constantly review that risk register. So then, as you're saying, at the end, that enables us to, you know, it's not a case of saying, oh, you know, our project ran for 18 months. can't even remember what what was our initial risk register. We should have all of that documentation. And obviously we have that through our whole project, however long the life cycle, we talk about our life cycle goes. And we should be able to go back exactly as you're saying, was that it becomes an important document throughout capturing the risks, especially from the planning stage through to the execution of work, and as we monitor work and as risks change, how our register changed throughout the project. Really good points. Very good points.
Lisa,
Hey.
can I? Hi, sorry,
Hi, Nadia.
I joined a bit late.
Hi, how are
Hi.
you?
Good, thank you.
Fantastic.
Can I add, please, about the risk also? It's about checking our initial project plan, what we have confirmed that we will be delivering.
Back in the planning, definitely. Yeah.
And is it in line with our aims and objectives?
Yes.
Is it in line financially? This is the budget we have allocated. Everything has been delivered, so we can report back to funding body and in line with our identified outputs.
Yes, absolutely. And importantly, when we're talking about risk in this context, going back to our risk plan or our risk management plan, exactly, Nadia, to ensure that we have delivered, given the risks that we had documented, and of course, where those risks had changed, what we had to do, our response, isn't it? Risk response.
Yes.
To then ensure we were then, we were then able to still deliver. Fantastic, Nadia. Yes. Good work. Good work. And that's important, exactly. Whoever our funding, but I mean, generally we talk about sponsor, don't we?
Yep.
Our sponsor has the fund. Our sponsor basically is ultimately, the owner of our project. They fund the project. They have that important resource of financial resource budget. But yeah, whoever that may be, as you say, Nadia, that could be a funding body, it could be a steering committee, it could be a board of some description. And often we can use that label sponsor across all of those, whether individual or group, exactly as you're saying, because we will need to then report back to that in terms of delivery in the context of how we've managed risk throughout. Very good.
Yeah. Or it could have been the project, it could have been funded philanthropically. So
yes.
Once again, it could be somewhere.
Yes.
Also, we are obliged to report back to them.
Very good. Yes, very good point. So again, sponsor could be, a community representative or group or community board that then comes together to fund a project. Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Really good. Great summary. Fantastic. I think we've done well. As always, you guys are amazing. Let's think about what have we got here. Is this our brainstorming document? Yes, this is the one in our Teams room. There's a lot of red text in this, isn't it? With a lot of red text. Yes, a lot of red text. Oh, yes, our questions, our meetings, fantastic. Good work on the meetings too, guys, last week, finishing those off. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, risk register. Moyes, this is your point. Yes, brilliant. Risk register, our email. Yes, body of email. Updated risk register. Yes. Oh, this is what we're up to. Lessons learned. Lessons learned. So I think what we'll do is this is for our CRM software project. So we might just let's just take a minute and do a bit of brainstorming. I'd love to hear from you guys. Let's get this here. Oh, did I miss let me go back to the chat if anyone had was that a Omar? Yes, good point. They're not managed. Yes, the project mate. Yes, absolutely. Very good point. Thank you, Omar. Really good point around, yes, the management of risk. Absolutely. Our project otherwise may not be sustainable. Really good point. Definitely. Very good. So I think now what we want to talk about, this is for our CRM project. That's what we've been working on. We're actually going to finish, aren't we? And then we'll move on to our project 2. So project 1, and I'll just go back to our simulation just so that we've got our simulation pack. Yeah. Appendix 1 of our appendices. So this is what we have been, just to refresh our memories, where we've been. Obviously, oh dear, that wasn't very clear. Try again, that's better. Okay, obviously where we've been has been our first project, which is our new customer relationship, our CRM software project. So that's what we have been working on so far. Our conference is our second one. We'll get onto that in a little while. Now we've got task 2, task 6 we've done the email. Yeah, great. Okay, here we go, task 6. This is our script or our update in our simulation. That's telling us a few of our, issues from our project, which hopefully we can give you some insight into our lessons learned. So you can have a read of task 6. That's on page 6 of our simulation pack. Now the CRM has been implemented and training has been completed. You are now ready to perform a lessons learned, to evaluate the effectiveness of your risk assessment. Before you start, here are some updates from your project for you to consider in your lessons learned. Employee feedback regarding lack of training. Lack of training preparation, planning and notice made it difficult for most staff to attend. So this is about the CRM. We need to make sure our employees, most importantly, are trained if we've got a new system. So there was obviously an area there that wasn't managed terribly well in terms of risk. Management requested that for future tracking and ease of all parties to utilise a survey or forms for future mass input to the risk. Okay, so maybe we need to also improve that. So that's some ideas. So let's look at our lessons learned. Our lessons learned appendix 4, guys, and our CRM appendix 4. Lessons learned log. You can put your own name in there. Include your name. Again, your name. You can be the document author. And then the important part is this piece on. This is it. So we have 2 issues. We have 2 issues and then 2 recommendations. So I'm going to give you a bit of thinking time. So issue 1. So please refer to the simulation pack. What did I say? Page 6.
I'm so sorry to ask you.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many risk logs are you at minimum looking for? Is 2 enough, or you want us that in like odd numbers, 3 or 5?
No, I think, let me just go to this. Sorry. So just going backwards, we have the initial risk register log, version 1, in task 1.
Laura, Lisa, could you share the screen, please?
Oh, sorry. Oh, I have got share screen. Is that not seeing? That's a worry. Can you not see my screen? I can see your screen. Oh, good. Gosh, I just was like, oh my gosh, I've got a red outline. Oh my gosh. That was going to give me a heart attack. Why can't you see that then, Moyes? Wonder what that is. Why can't you see? If Hasib, is it just you can see? Can everyone else see my screen?
I can see you.
Right, it's only Hasib. It's only Hasib can see. No one else.
On that screen.
We can see you, but not the screen.
Hasib, can you see us, Hasib?
Let me go off camera. Is that better?
No, you can. We can see the. We can see the screen.
I can see you all.
We can see the screen, Lisa.
Oh, great. Okay. So just hopefully, Hasib, risk 1. For our CRM project, which is what we've first done, we should have an initial risk register, something like that. Questions.
I'm so sorry. I think I didn't. I misunderstood. I wasn't talking about the risk. I was talking about the lessons learned log. Would you like 2?
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Well, we've got in the simulation. We've got 2. You can add, but you would have at least the 2 that are in, what did I say, page 6 of our simulation. We have one here and a second. So I think as long as you have, at least have those two, I think that's fine.
Amazing.
I mean,
Thank
you
you,
can
Lisa.
add, but yeah, that would be appropriate to have those two. And if you want more, that's fine.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Pleasure. So, all right, so I won't go back then. You can go straight into this. So you can basically summarize, and I probably should put, please summarize the issue presented in the simulation pack, page 6. And then issue 2, you'll do the same again for the second one. And then, of course, the lesson learned, you're making a recommendation. So this is, please include your recommendation to address issue 1. So you have one for each from the CRM project. And we need to ensuring this recommendation is applicable, not just for this project, but for future projects. That's the point of lessons learned, isn't it? Not just what we learn, but what we can share for future projects, future project teams, future project managers. Hopefully we have a good knowledge management system where that can be shared. Then we have issue 2, again, please include your recommendation. So that's your task, guys. I will stop talking now. Let you have some thinking time. At least two issues from the simulation pack, as I said, page 6. Make sure I'm on the right one, was it? Page 6, yes, page 6. There are your 2 issues there, task 6. And then we're taking those issues and we're documenting our lessons learned. And
Lisa?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, the lessons learned recommendations, we can use the same thing what we have mentioned in the action plan, the risk register, isn't it? It will be
So
pretty similar.
You can go back if you want to. Yeah. So hang on a minute. Is this what you're saying? You're saying then what you have documented in your risk register.
You have mentioned the action plan.
Is here, sorry. Yeah. Is here.
Yeah.
Or here, yes, your action plan.
Yeah,
yes.
the action plan, we can use it as a recommendation for the future project, right?
Yes, you can. Indeed. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, thanks.
Good on you, Vivek. So I'm going to stop now and give you some thinking time. Think about, so your point, Vivek, you put that, or from your previously documented risk register. Could be anyone, because we've done a few, obviously, throughout. Oh, sorry. I'm happy if you reference either or. Brilliant. Okay. All right.
So, Lisa, do we just list 2 issues, or do we?
Yeah, so you're going to summarize the issue. So you pick an issue and you'll just a brief paragraph.
Yep.
Please summarize. I'd say a brief paragraph. That's helpful.
But we only list 2 issues and not.
Yeah, exactly. You only need one on each line, basically. That's all that's required. So we have 2, 1 there. What you're trying to show, though, Tan, really good question, is the relationship from this issue into your recommendation. You know, there's a flow from this is the issue and this is what we're recommending to address that in the next project. And similarly with issue 2 from your summary, the recommendation flows from that to address that issue. It's the second issue. If that's helpful. Yeah.
But it's like you only need to list 2 issues, yeah?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Correct. Fantastic. See you soon. Here for questions, of course, but I want you to have a bit of thinking time. Cheers. Okay, guys. Like some feedback, please. Issue and recommendation. You might have something, a summary of the issue, or perhaps an idea for a recommendation. Yeah. Please feel free to share. Doesn't have to be a fully documented recommendation. It might just be an idea or a thought you have, which would be great.
Where's Hasib?
What was that, Ahmed? Have you got a recommendation, Ahmed? Come on.
My recommendation is where's Hasib?
Oh, no, come on, Ahmed. Come on, what have you got?
No, I was gonna say, okay, so because
Yeah.
I have one of the risks that we have that delaying the delivery of the hardware for the CRM.
Very good. Very good. Well,
before
not
the
very
start.
good that it happened, but very
Yeah,
good
yeah,
that you have
yeah.
identified
Found
that.
the issue, yes.
Very good.
And obviously that's due to the supply chain issue that we might have. So my recommendation was when signing the contract with the supplier is to add a clause to it if any delays will be a financial penalty.
Yes, very good.
If
Very good.
any delays,
Yes.
that's one. The second one is also to be good to the supplier, is to give them enough notice and make sure that at least we get like 1 week margin. Even if they delayed, we still have 1 week to start the project.
Yeah.
So at least we have all the hardware.
Yeah, just some buffer in there in terms of
yep.
time. Yeah, very good. Can I just say too, Ahmed, equally, your first, going back to your first recommendation, very good idea. It is about contract management, definitely. And the contract, as you're saying, the clause with the supplier. Equally, we could even have an incentive for them that we might actually pay them, you know, just like a bonus or some if they actually have it ready early. So it's not just sounding all negative, you know, we'll penalise you, but equally there could be an incentive as well that if they deliver prior to the date, there's an incentive as well. So
yeah, that's why I was trying to add one as a penalty, and the other one is try to give them enough notice.
A positive. Yeah,
So,
very good.
yeah,
Good
that's
on
it.
you, Ahmed. Well
Thanks,
done. Thank you so much for sharing. Fantastic. Brilliant. Would anybody else like to share, contribute? You might have similar to Ahmed's ideas sharing. You'd like to elaborate, or you may have something different altogether. Keen to hear from you. Excuse me. Anybody like to share?
Right, Lisa, one more.
Good on you, Ahmed. Fantastic. I'm very comfortable with the silence while people are thinking, but good on you. Away you go.
Maybe it'll
Fantastic,
motivate someone.
I'm so impressed. Look at you.
Okay, so
Okay.
one of the issues in the simulation pack one of the emails says that employee feedback regarding lack of training preparation, planning, and notice made made it difficult for most staff to attend and complete scheduled training.
Yes,
So
very good
that's a
point.
risk. That's obviously a risk.
Yes, yes.
So my
Not
recommendation
good that it
was,
occurred, but very good point. Yes, that's a very good point you made. Yes, yes.
Okay, so my recommendation was
Yes.
employees should be provided with training at least 2 weeks before going live on
Very
CRM.
good. Yes,
IT
very
manager, IT manager should be coordinating with project coordinator to ensure training preparation is well, like organized, and we give
Yes,
enough
very
notice
good.
to staff.
Yes, very good.
As well as getting all the feedback from the staff before going live and action them to fix any issue.
Yeah, very good. And I would also, I'm sure you're across this, but I think part of the planning when we talk about our work breakdown, you know, going back to our actual work or work package somewhere in there, whether we have a training work package or tasks within a work package, but somewhere training needs to be identified as a key task. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, because it's a dependency, you know, we shouldn't have, we shouldn't be implementing a system until that training has been complete, that we're depending on that, you know, that is a dependency. So I think your point is, yeah, excellent. Good one. Well done.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Okay, guys, let's do it, guys.
Look at you.
More ideas, please.
Bravo,
I'm going to be the trainer today.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed. So, guys, hopefully you got some ideas from Ahmed's inspiration there. My goodness, you've had plenty of ideas there, which is fantastic. Fantastic. You might just want to, yeah, as I always say, not expecting this is, it's not meant to be a finished product, but hopefully it gives you some ideas to basically, and what I'll do, because I'm going to put this all into the assessment document, is I am going to take a screenshot. Oops, excuse me. I'm going to take a screenshot of, where is that? Yes, don't need that, sorry. And I'm going to take a screenshot of this lessons learned document. You can upload this separately if you wish. It's totally up to you, whatever you prefer. It doesn't really worry me, but for the purposes of this, I'm going to pop this into our task 6. And I will put a little note here just to say, please include screenshot of your lessons learned. From the issues in the CRM project and supporting recommendations for future projects. You may wish to, you may prefer, that's probably to include the screenshot in this document, or lost my spell check, or upload separately to our TDC. So it's up to you. I don't mind, whichever you prefer. I'll put them all in one document because at least we've got them in there together as you know, a reference tool for you. And that would give you project 1 done. Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And on we go to project 2. Assuming there's no questions, if you're happy to, as I always say, at least you've got some ideas there and you're not working from a blank page. We then move to project 2, which is our project 2. Go back to our simulation. Project 2 is our annual conference. Yes. We have an annual conference, hosting a conference. Display both upcoming and existing technologies. So this is now from in our simulation pack, page 7. We have a conference schedule, so it's a day conference. Yes, from 9. Is that 9? Got a morning session, morning tea, lunch, afternoon session, afternoon tea till 5. Have a project team, Donna, project coordinator, Will help with contacting and lining up the speakers. Already drafted the okay, so this is what Donna is already a deliverable, delivered, drafted. The conference program. Ben is the admin assistant. Has had experience at the ground. Okay, so that's all about the venue. That's Ben's area of expertise. Alex is the chief. Okay, so this is finances. So Alex will have control. So that's about governance of the finances. And Aditi, the marketing manager, will coordinate the marketing material, registration, and send out invites to attendees through Gelos's new, the CRM. So this is the interface with what we've done in Project 1. And then we have a fair bit of detail about our conference. Participant target group is managers in all industries. This group will be targeted by email. Okay, so that's again the dependency, isn't it, on the new CRM system, you know, having that system operational for the the clients basically who could attend. Publicised throughout social media. So LinkedIn, okay. Conference facilities require a centrally located venue which has a conference room that can accommodate up to 150, so quite decent size. Invited speakers will want to be accommodated. Okay, so we need accommodation then nearby for speakers. Need an appropriate hotel in the vicinity. The venue will also need to be able to provide on-site catering. We have a budget based on 150 attendees, $500 plus GST per guest. Speakers to receive 400 each for their participation. Okay, complete task 1. So I think if you just have a read of page 8 in your simulation pack, that should give you enough, pages 7 and 8, I should say. So pages 7 and 8 in the simulation pack will give us what we need for task 1. Here we go, sorry. Task 1. We need a risk register and 3 questions. Okay, so again, I'll just copy paste that last little. You can include a screenshot or you can include the actual, it's up to you, screenshot for your risk register version 1. The annual conference project. Alternately, you may prefer to include the screenshot in this or upload separately. Yeah. Excuse me. So we grab our little risk register document for our conference, annual conference. Annual conference. I need this one, don't I? I need a risk register. A risk register. Yes, that's the one. So hopefully you have that. That's appendix. Sorry, I should give you appendix 3. Appendix 3. Appendix 3. Risk register name or project name, annual conference project. Project manager, please include your name. That's you. Well done. And project completion date, based on, you can include a estimated closure date. And then we have 3 risks. Get rid of these because we'll start again, won't we? That's from the software project. So let's. Beautiful. Operational risk, people and culture risk, financial risk, knowledge risk, environmental risk, project management risk, and partners list. I think that's more like suppliers. I don't like it for partners. Anyway, I'll put that more as suppliers anyway. If it will let me. We definitely have a suppliers risk with our conference project. What could be our supplier risk? Need to hear from you. Supplier risk relevant to our conference, our annual conference project. What are your thoughts?
Like a changing venue?
Yes, very good, very good. So we may have risk around the venue in terms of exactly the
If they double booked, for example.
yeah, very good. Selection or availability. Exactly.
And
Also, we
then
have to change.
caterer as well. Lack of.
Oh yes, very good, very good, very good. So let's put that.
Even.
That might be another one as well. Supplier risk.
Also, the presenters failing to attend.
Very good. Not very good that it happens, but very good. You've identified a risk around the caterers. Availability as well. And then another supplier risk. Very good. Very good, Nadia. Supplier risk relevant to relevant. So this is to the speakers for the annual conference. Very good, guys. Where speakers may be unavailable or may have attendance issues even after they have confirmed following booking. Very good. Great. Brilliant. So I'll give you a bit of time to think about that. And then you want to please include the potential impact of this risk. And again, the same with each of the risks. Sorry. These include risk response, which is avoid, transfer, mitigate that. Oh no, because it's a drop down, isn't it? And cancel that. You have to actually, yeah. So you just pick out whichever one you feel is appropriate. And then completed action. You need to include is here. Some actions to mitigate. What could you potentially in place to address, mitigate, control, reduce the likelihood or reduce the severity, isn't it? So we want to copy that and put that there. Please include.
Perhaps medication could have included seeking partners support for as a recommendation, potential speakers, and also another venue. Look at the local council, perhaps like, you know, room hire, and also look at like, you know, the speakers could be like, you know, from local neighborhood center or local organization who they have been delivering this sort of projects on many occasions. Reviews have told us 90% success rate, so perhaps we can look at those areas.
Yeah, very good. Very good, Nadia. So depending on your risk, of course, excuse me, whatever your risk is, then you're now looking at the steps that can be put in place to try to reduce the likelihood or the severity of that risk in terms of impact to the project. Brilliant. Yeah. And yeah, exactly, that could be some sort of, you know, contingency planning, basically, as you have, described well. Thanks, Nadia.
And it could have been like, you know, already an existing plan B in order, like, you know, to overcome any obstacles or barriers.
Yeah, exactly. They include exactly contingency plans or actions to address barriers. Very, very good. And basically do that for each. And of course, your probability and impact to get your risk score. Probability might be. Now we need to go back, yes, for your scoring. I think, yes, we need this. Again, go back to your risk matrix. So again, if we have a low or improbable, you know, it might be in a 1 or maybe a 2 even. So we look at probability. Yeah. 2. If it's a 2, and then we had the impact. Maybe a medium to serious, a 2. And when we look on 1 and 2, we're around this area of 2. Your 1, does that change that? Maybe I'll keep it at a 2 to give it a 4. You can have a play with that. And then of course the whether the impact of those actions are significant or minor on cost, and similarly significant or minor on our time schedule. So going back to those constraints. And I think that's all you need to do. You don't really need to, at this point, we're not getting into the action planning. So I would just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 columns across. So from category across to schedule on impact, or impact on the schedule, I should say. That would give you a nice risk register with your 3 risks and your risk identification, mitigation and assessment, residual risk, for each of the three. And that would give you a nice risk register version 1. Questions? I'll just hop back in the chat. I know it's nearly dinner time, so very conscious of and/or just getting off the screen. But I'm sure you'd like to have a dinner break. Is that a good idea? Dinner break? To refresh?
Lisa, which risk register are you typing these comments in? I have a couple of them on the Teams.
So when you look in our Teams, there, let's go to our Teams then. Risk, our files. Good question, Brunette. You should have in risk an appendix 3.
Because you have a couple of them in appendix 3, if you see. That's a...
I'll open that. So I'm just keying. There's an exemplar on that one. That's one they've just put on as an exemplar. I've actually deleted that one, the one I've done. So you can put 2, 3, 4 under it. That's fine if you want to leave the exemplar. But that's the template you would use. Oh, Sarah's gone and keyed into that. Oh, that's why you're asking.
Yeah, there are a couple of them over there, you know. So
okay,
we need a little confused.
Yeah, that's not good. Sorry, guys. Make sure that you let me get rid of that. Yeah, we don't want to save someone else's work. That's not good. Yeah, okay. So let me go back and let's go to our source again. Always go back to our TDC. Where am I? TDC, this one here. And we want our content and we want BSB508. So I'll go back and, yeah, make sure, guys, you do download and save it to your own. You shouldn't work in the Teams because, yeah, it becomes a communal document, which is not good. It should be your own assessment. So, yeah. So we go to 066, that's us. And we preview. And I'll just grab this manage risk. Thanks for alerting me to that, Vinay. And we grab our assessment object. Now we should have, risk register. Okay, so I'm going to download that one there. And then that's the one I should be able to hopefully straight into the Teams room. Let's delete that. Why was that not deleted?
You got to clean out a lot of files out here.
Right. So we've got our risk register. So we need that. Oh, did you want to say something? Is that Tan? Sorry, Tan.
Sorry, Lisa.
You're all right. Did you want to say something? I don't know if you had your microphone.
Oh no, when you asked about dinner, I was going to say yes, please. That's all.
Yeah, my brain's slowed down now. It's like, come on, guys. No, it's all good. I'll just do this because this is it's a good point because we should make sure you do download your, why won't that delete? Let me go into it. Is it closed? Maybe someone's still got it open. Maybe it's not going to let me. Not let me. So how about I put a how about I just script this one. Try again. It's not on. Oh, it's not letting me. I don't know why. I'll have to try again. What I'll do is I might put it in the chat then.
Probably the sheet's open in your computer. That's why you can't upload it.
But it's not me, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Somebody else has opened it.
Somebody else has. So guys, if you have, please. But I'll put it here. So hopefully that at least, yeah, there it is. So it's in the chat. And I will try again later. But yeah, it's not me, sadly. I wish I had control over it, but I don't. Someone's opened it and left it open. But yeah, good lesson though. Make sure you download, save it to your device and close it in the room so then you're not entering your work in there. Good pickup. Thanks, Bernard. All right. Okay. Yes, Tan, dinner time.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Oh, good. Oh, good. Have dinner, guys. What is it? 7:35. So let's rejoin at say 8:05. Go and have dinner at and yeah, refresh and yeah, I'll see you at 8:05, please. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Cheers. And I will, leave that risk register on, just so if you are doing a bit of work, tapping away, you can continue. Very good. See you at 8:05. Okay, guys, so I'll just check in how you're going with your risk register. I'll just go to the chat actually and check if there's any questions. And hello, yes, hello. Say hello, Hasib, I should say, Hasib. Did you have a question on the risk register?
No, Miss, I'm good.
All good?
All good.
All good. All good. So I'm going to, as always, you guys can upload if you want to upload it as a separate, that's not very good. Try that again. A separate file, you can. Alternately, if you want to screenshot it into your project assessment document, you can. Let's grab that. Excuse me. Better. Yeah. Better. And just there. So hopefully that gives you some ideas, as always, for your risk register. Version 1, which will be version 1 for the conference project. And then we're doing now, oh, meeting, done. So you can please include the observation checklist. Everyone's done that. Who was that there? If you weren't, guys, have a chat with me on Wednesday. We might be able to, if anyone's missed out. I know there's a few. We might, yeah, we will actually, not we might. We will make a time at the end of the evening if anybody's missed any role plays for a catch-up. On Wednesday in the evening. Bankstown. Beautiful. So that will go in, same one. I know it's only for one of the projects you only had to do, but I just, you know, there's the other one. Do a copy paste, yeah, that one, thank you. And that can go there, done. Lovely. And then I think we're ready to do task 3. Our risk analysis. So let's just go back to our simulation for task 2. Yep, it's okay. We've had our meeting. Task 3. Here we go. So this is now on page, I should give you a page 9. We now have a section task 3 and 4. This is what we need for task 3 and 4. Following contains information required to complete tasks 3 and 4. Using the information gathered, you have collectively identified additional risks and added them to the risk identification. You must now analyse the information provided to complete the risk. Okay, so now we're doing that last, basically the action plan on the right-hand side. So you can incorporate any discussions you've had with your peers from the meeting, or it might be just some other ideas you had anyway. And I will grab your conference. So now what we want to do is this section here, our action plan. So this should be, now we're starting to address the risk that's remaining, essentially. That's what residual risk is. So we want to please include actions to address the remaining risk for risk 1 or the annual conference. Again, just ensure that your actions being, of course, for the action plan are action focused, ensuring these steps are action focused. Such as, we want to maybe review whatever we're reviewing, or develop, or keep those words very action focused, schedule, or coordinate. So hopefully these give you some ideas of words to use to start your actions for your action plan. Sorry. Please include the key stakeholder. And that's obviously in the simulation pack. And then the date will be, please include a start date. And we won't worry about date achieved. We'll just focus on those. I think if you've got those, that's quite fine. That in there for each of those. So that's really what we're working on now, this piece, the actions to address whatever risk, obviously it remains, as we say, residual risk. And this is the part we really want to work on now, those 3 columns to the right, excuse me, of the risk assessment. Let's take that shape out. Beautiful. And that will be it. Questions, guys? Questions? Maybe I'll just give you some time to have a think. That's probably good. And then we can have some questions. Have a go at some of those actions for your action plan. Who might own them? Just as a hint, if you go back into the simulation pack, the owners, we've obviously got all of our project team here noted. On page 8 of our simulation pack. So you can refer to that, any of those individuals that we have there. For your action order from the simulation pack, I should put page 8 in there. That might be helpful. On page 8. There you go. Anyway, quiet time. Have a think. Action plan. Action's very focused, obviously. Doing words, review, develop, schedule, coordinate, meet, consult. Action plan. See you soon. Obviously here for questions. Okay, guys, some feedback, please. Actions, examples. You don't have to read out your whole action plan, but perhaps an action, just even one. An action that you've identified for the residual risk, something that you've identified as a risk. We have an action plan, and then now we have this residual risk, remaining risk. What can be done further? Please, I'm keen to hear from you. Is anybody out there?
I'm lost myself too.
Hello, Steve. Hello, how are you?
Oh,
Are you still traveling, or are you home?
no, I'm back.
Oh, he's traveling. He's home. He's traveled, I should say. Oh, good. Good evening. Did you have an action that you'd like to share? Just one action that would perhaps address a risk that you have identified on your risk register?
In the conference one, yes, I had.
Oh.
Let's quickly open up that file. In the action, essentially speaking, just like every conference, I had a risk where I had my venue call me at the last minute and saying that they're unable to provide me what I exactly asked for or what was decided initially in the meeting. And that's where I go back to my point where I was talking about scheduled meetings, that they should always be scheduled. So my action was essentially not pertaining to this specific, but it was more of a lesson learned that apart from the scheduled meetings, from time to time ask for updates, stay in constant communications. However, there was one action that I mentioned in that going forward, the contract should have a legal point in them that if there is a breach of the initial contract from other parties, there should be a percentage of penalty involved, either more payment or less payment towards the contractor, essentially.
Very good. Yeah, very good. I think you make a good point, though. I mean, that's exactly as you said, moving toward the lesson learned for future. But in the actions, even including additional communication with this, with the supplier, the vendor, the venue, I should say. So even having, weekly catch-ups or fortnight, something just to add in additional communication as part of this action plan for residual risk, I think that's quite fine. Yeah. Thanks, Hussey.
No problem. Always.
As
I'm
always.
still trying to find the crickets here and there. I'm sure I'll find many.
We were doing well earlier, and then it's just all gone. Everyone's had dinner and went, I just can't think anymore.
Oh, Ahmed can't hear. What's going on?
Oh, what's the matter, Ahmed? Oh, wow. Maybe I should turn my camera off.
Yeah, let's try that.
Let's try that. Let's try. Hopefully that may help the sound. Hopefully that might help the sound. Ahmed, let us know, please. If anybody else is having sound issues, please let us know. Do we have sound? Do we have sound?
Yes.
Please. Ah, fantastic. Thanks, Harry. Cheers. Perhaps, Ahmed, it might be at your side. You might just want to hop out and hop back in. See what you think. Anybody got another action here, guys? I'd like to hear one more, please. Just one more. Hasib has provided an action of additional communication or additional communication forums with our vendor, our supplier, as in the venue. What about another? I'd love to hear one more action here that would address the this ongoing risk, this remaining risk, residual risk for one of our risks for our conference. And just one, not a whole action plan, just one action would be just great. What do you think? Any other ideas for actions? What about with the speakers?
Could it, that's what I was going to ask you, Lisa.
Fantastic. I was hoping I would hear another one.
Could it be like, yes, physical, one of the staff, or could be HR, like, had an accident and this sort of things, yes, which may impact on the delivery?
Yes, very good. And I think that goes back, threads right back, loops back, doesn't it, to that, you were talking about right at the beginning, like contingency, having, even if we've got these supply speakers, I should say, we have even, locked in, but still to have someone, even in internal, like you said, someone perhaps in the HR team or perhaps the marketing team, what a better way, someone in the marketing. I mean, we're talking about building our client base, aren't we, through the annual conference. So having someone on standby just to say, and to be honest with them, say, look, it's just if something happens with a speaker, we do need a contingency, and to perhaps, work with, say, the marketing team or someone to identify a contingency speaker, I think would be brilliant. Nadia, yes, I agree. Good thought, good action.
So I just shared a snippet of my risk register in the chat.
That's very generous of you. Thank you. That's super kind. Super, super kind.
Maybe
not that for everyone to copy, we won't do that. It is Hasib's work, but that's really, yeah, that's good. That looks good. Yeah, ability. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. Good, good, good. I'll move this one over. Got clarity for, yeah, that's good. Yes. I like that. Engaging with the marketing team. That's a good one. While signing MOU and later signing agreement clause. Yeah, I think so. I agree. I think there's a need for additional clause. Exactly what you're saying, and that can build on Ahmed's point earlier, a penalty, but also, there can be, if they do lock it in, there could be some incentive. If they advise us earlier, that's also a positive, consultation with keynotes, but yeah, definitely material was extracted and prepared. Yeah, very good. Sounds good. Very good, Hasib. Nice work.
Thank you.
Good one. Ripping through this, aren't you? Very nice. Fantastic. Any other thoughts? Anyone else like to share?
Yeah, Lisa, I've got one.
Yeah, please.
But it's in line with the speakers themselves. The way I read it is that the speakers are actually not finalized yet, so I kind of put that at risk.
Yep, cool. Yep. So we still don't have, because I mean, uncertainty around the speakers, there's risk there, absolutely. So I think that's fine. What are your action, or what's an action, I should say?
And that I put to mitigate that risk, to get an initial call to the nominated speakers and get a verbal agreement of their presentation.
Very good. And so that would be part of that initial, or you're putting that here in your action plan over here?
As part of the action plan.
Yeah, good. Fantastic.
Initial
Fantastic.
from them.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Very good. So that might even be initial discussions, excuse me, which could then be used as input to a formal arrangement, you know, a service agreement or even a contract, dare I say, but something that is more, a little bit, yes, exactly, more confirmation. Exactly, Tom. Good on you, Johnny. That's great. Well done.
Cool. Thanks.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So what I'm going to do is, same old thing, screenshot, as I said. Alternately, if you prefer to upload in a separate document, you are free to do that, whichever works for you. I'm quite happy.
Yeah.
As long as you've got the content that you need to have covered, that's the main thing. I'll just grab this and that, and no. Why again? Let's pop this in and there. Yeah, that's better. Okay, let's get our risk. And I'll go back into the, as always, the project document. And there. And as said, very happy if you want to, excuse me, include your screenshot, or if you prefer to upload the separate document, you can. This is version 2 of the conference. You may prefer or upload version 2 separately. Yeah, beautiful. And that would give you task, what was it, task 3. Very nice. Task 3, and then we move on, task 4. We're doing well, guys. Task 4, draft an email. So this is our email again. So you can insert the name of the stakeholder that you're emailing. So this might be, and I might say, please refer to the simulation, because that will give you the names of our pack page. I think I said page 8, didn't I, before? For our project team, page 8. Yeah, brilliant. So this might go to Donna or Ben or Alex or Aditi. And there might be additional stakeholders we want to again include. Again, you can use any of those from page 8 of our simulation pack. And the subject is, what do we draft an email providing you? Okay, so this is, and request updates. Okay, so this is basically for status report. Update on risks for annual conference project or something like that. And that would give you something like that would at least give you a structure for your email. And then again, insert name referring to, if you've got ones from, again, as I said, your stakeholders are in page 8, so that can be quite a helpful source of information. And then the body of email. So yeah. So this is where you talk about suggested. Yeah, you might want to include updates. Yeah. Also request feedback from stakeholders. On risks in the risk register. Maybe even include a date. Sometimes that's helpful for planning, for feedback. Or something like that. And best regards, insert your name. As project manager, done. And that would give you another part of the communication process. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. What do we say? Task. Maybe we'll scroll that down would be better. Task 4. Get all that on one page. Like. So beautiful. Very good. Any thoughts or questions on task 4? For your email. It's not too onerous, I don't think. It's just basically saying, yeah, request. You could even refer attached. It's probably nicer to refer attached. Risk register. That's probably a helpful. Yeah. Also request feedback from. Yeah, we'd appreciate their feedback on the risks that have been identified. And maybe a due date, because that's always good for planning purposes, isn't it? Give them a week or something to respond, and that would give you task 4. Nicely, guys. Give you a minute. I'm here for questions, of course. See you shortly. So guys, I think that's probably a very good evening's output. Very happy with those deliverables. You can do some additional work on your email. We'll finish off. I think we'll pretty much finish this off on Wednesday evening to our risk modification, task 6, our outcome of lessons learned, and that, yes, I think that will pretty much will see us complete manage risk on Wednesday. Now, can I just say, and I've just set up the next our next unit, which hopefully you can see here, managing project information and communication. So that's our next. I think we might be able to get into that. We might do a bit of an introduction and a bit of workshopping on Wednesday evening at Bankstown, which will be lovely. I have put, yes, our workbook is in there ready. So I'll open that up. Remember, if you do, just save it. As we had that chat earlier tonight, just save it to you just click File and Save As, and that will allow you to download a copy to your device. And then you can close, once you've done so, you can actually close that off. So then it's all, you're not actually, modifying the document in the Teams room, if that makes sense. Just protects everyone's work. So, which is good. But yeah, so that's there. You can save that to your device. We will start on topic 1 on Wednesday evening. So mission firstly on Wednesday will be to finish off, what did I say? Tasks, was it 5 and 6? Yes. Tasks 5 and 6 will finish off our assessment for managed project risk. So that's very exciting. I'm going to save that, put that in the Teams room. And then, yes, as said, we'll then, I think, take some time and do a little bit of workshopping of topic 1 and get some feedback from you all. It's always good when we're all together there at Bankstown, do that. And then please remind me if anybody hasn't completed role plays for risk or sustainability. Obviously, we've done the 2 now, risk or sustainability. Please let me know and we'll do a bit of coordination on Wednesday night. We will definitely have time. I know I'd said that before, I'm sorry, a few times with folks, but excuse me, last week was quite busy to get through all of the groups. But definitely this Wednesday. So please be there. If you haven't completed the role play for our first unit on sustainability or our second unit on risk, then please talk to me and we'll work out. Even if we have a couple of you there, we can have a group ourselves and we'll have a meeting at the end of the night and be able to sign off that for you. To at least give you your observation checklist to include in your assessment. Yeah, so that's great. So task 5 and 6 you can work on, or obviously we'll finish that off on Wednesday night, followed by our first topic of managing project information and communication, and a bit of role plays if needed as well. And I think, dare I say, I think we've done really well. Notwithstanding any questions, anybody has any questions or thoughts? Thanks, Taff. Good on you. Thanks, Vivian. Too kind. Yes, Tan, have a good night. And please, guys, as I said, I'll just steal that screen again. Please download the, where is it? Get the right file. Our Teams room, yes, our workbook for our next unit. So we're all ready to roll on Wednesday night once we finish off our tasks, last 2 tasks for managing risks. Fantastic, guys. Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time. Truly appreciate it as always. And big shout out to, Nadia and Donnie, Hasib, Ahmed, Punit. I'm just trying to think who else was helpful and contributing tonight. Anyone else that I missed, I do apologise. I think I got all the names. Let me know. Tan, of course. Tan. Oh, that was a nice little ring of the bell. Does that mean time's up?
No, that was my phone. Every time somebody messages on Teams, it pops up there.
Is that like, chop, chop, we're done, see you later, good night? Oh, very good, Haseeb. Thank you so much. On that note, good night all. Thanks, guys. Ciao.
Thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you so much. Wonderful as always. Lovely working with you, and I look forward to Wednesday night at Bankstown.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.